Welcome back to another edition of Dion the Troll and the Crazy Nations brush collection video. We're going to reapply Tillamook mint chocolate chips into the flavor. I'm laughing because I think this is like my fourth one in a row. I don't know, but we're going to just get them all done. So this one is, I'm going to show you my Hourglass brushes. I only have eye brushes from House Labs, from Hourglass. I do like their double-ended brush, but it's a pain to store. And so when I had purchased it way back, I ended up getting rid of it way back because I like to just store my brushes like in containers like this. And with double-ended, you have to lay them flat, takes up more space, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to show you the ones I have. I don't have their concealer brushes. The reviews were mixed, and I'm like, no. But the ones I did try, I liked. And I have more than one. So we only have two though of the Hourglass number 9 brushes, and these are the smudger brushes. What I use this brush for is if I want to place and blow out shadow on my lower lash line. And I say it that way because you see how dense this is. You see how thick this is. You're not going to get a thin line under here. But if I want to blow out my eyeshadow, this will help me place it and blow it out and blend it at the same time. And I do think this is the only thing I use this brush for. I don't know what it's for, but that's what I use it for. And you can use a brush for whatever purpose best suits your needs. And so that's what I use it for placing under here, blowing out and buffing at the same time. And it's usually one of those messy grunge looks that I do when I'm like, we're just going to blow the heck out of the shadow and it's going to look bomb. Excuse me. So that's what I use this for. And I do believe it's a smudger brush because it's short and it's stubby, but what are you smudging with how thick this is? I don't know. But yeah, I use it for under here, placing shadow and blowing it out and blending at the same time. So that's what I use that one for. I have 4 of the number 6 brushes, and these are the blending brushes. And I love the shape of it. They're not quite tapered, and so sometimes I opt for a different blending brush that is more tapered. But this one I do really like for blending. For outer corner work, I can somewhat do an outer V if I don't want it to be precise, because it's not blunt, but it's also not as tapered as other brushes that I have that are blending brushes. And so I can do an outer V with this, but usually it ends up turning into just an outer corner because I don't like the shape. And so I'll just end up filling it in. I'll do the outer V and then end up filling it in. And also I can do, you know, in my transition area, the top line of my lid shades, I do use it for that, and I may pull out my eyeshadow from when I did the outer corner work. So that's what I use this brush for. I have, how many? 6. Whew. I have 6 of the Hourglass number 3 brushes. Tanya says this is a workhorse. Like, this brush, I freaking love this brush. Why I only have 6, I don't know. Something else I counted, I had like 9. I think it might have been the Easums. I'm like, how did I end up with 9 of those brushes? But this brush for me, it's a packer. I call it a packer. And if you've seen any of my makeup videos where I apply shadow, I do just pack shadow on and then I'll go back and blend it. I will pack it on, go back and blend it. This right here, this brush, and because it's wider than other shader brushes, I am able to get across the lid and into my crease, because I do take my lid shades up to here. So I can do it quicker because it is a wider brush. I've been having a hard time finding shader brushes these days, and so I don't know if people are just using blending brushes more so, such as I was just demonstrating with one of my Sigma brushes, where, and it's right here and I can't find it. I was just demonstrating with one of the Sigma brushes how this is a blending brush as well, but you can turn it sideways and still pack shadow on. And so I've been trying to find shader brushes and I'm not able to really find them unless they're like super thin, but because I'm doing this amount of space, this allows me to do it quicker. And it is a dense brush. It is a dense brush. It cleans well. It holds its shape. I like that the bristles are darker at the end, so that way if it is staining, excuse me, you're not going to see it as much. But I really just enjoy this brush because of the shape of it. I can get right here into the corner if I want to get into the corners, and I can, you know, blend it up. I can, you know, do my outer corner work. I can use the tip of it to blend it out, and if I want to even use this for blending out the top line of my lid shades, I can do that too. And that's usually what I end up doing regardless of what packer I use to put shadow on the lid. I will usually just go up and just blend a little bit because I don't do the traditional transition shade first. which they say helps with your blending, and then go into crease shade because that'll help with the blending, and then the lid shades. I tend to do my lid shades first, and so I'll use the top edge of the brush and start my blend process that way. But I friggin' love this brush, y'all. I've had these brushes for so friggin' long, it's almost unbelievable. But if you take care of your brushes, they will last you, especially if they are quality brushes. Hourglass brushes are expensive. I want to say I have a Shop My link below. That'll get you to the website, and whatever sale the website is having, you will have access to the sale, even going through my Shop My link, which is an affiliate link. But I do highly recommend these. This is a good, I like these for if I'm dealing with, even if it's a powdery shadow, this will place it and it'll stay. If it's a very, very saturated shadow, I'll use a brush that's not as dense as this, because this will lay that color down. And so if you don't want a really dark application of a darker shade, this is not the brush. But if you're wanting a dark application with a darker shade, this will do it for you. But with lighter tones and with powdery shadows, this works really well. So for me, it works well for all formulas. Not creamy or flaky formulas, but just traditional like matte shades. This is really good for me for that, whether it's a light or dark. But the color of the shadow for me determines, okay, am I going to use this brush or a different one? But I love this brush. So that is it for Hourglass. And I'm wondering if I want to throw something else in here. We're going to do our hodgepodge brushes. And so we're going to double this up because this is like extremely short. And I have three Blend Bunny brushes back from when they had the sale, and then there was a thing where they knew that the glue wasn't holding, so they did a buy one get one free. So I purchased the brushes. I only got 3 left because at that point I wasn't gluing stuff back together. And so kudos for the brand that were like, we're having issues with the glue and we don't want to waste stock. So if you buy one, and it was a set of 5, if you buy 1 set, you get another set for free. If you buy 2 sets, you get 2 sets for free. And in the meantime, they were going to work on, perfecting whatever the glue problem was. So I commend them for that and for that sale, because a lot of people was buying them. They're like, hey, 2 sets instead of 1, because if it falls apart, they would glue it. I didn't start gluing brushes until like way after that, so shame on me, right? But these two, and the Blend Bunny brushes, they're said to be crease brushes, but because I don't do transition and because I don't do a crease shade, I use these for lower lash line. This one is the B2, this one is the B3. And I use both of these for placing shadow on my lower lash line. That's all I use them for. That's all I use them for. So these are crease brushes, and I keep saying use a brush for whatever you want to use it for. This one I prefer because it's tapered. And so I will pick this one, the taper one, over the B2, which is more blunt. And so for the one that's more blunt, after I have shadow there, or if I just want to blend out a pencil gel liner, I'll use this one because it's stubby. And so this is good for me for just smudging out the gel pencil liner, whereas I prefer the B3, which is tapered, if I'm putting eyeshadow under here, because it is tapered, so it goes where I want it. So, but both of these I use for lower lash line and lower lash line only. I know, right? Who am I? But that's what I do. And this one is the B5, it looks like it says. I seldom use this one, but this is good for blending. And what is it, soft? No particular reason why I don't use it often, and I think it's because if you've been watching my collection videos for this year for brushes, something just ain't getting used. But I need to make it a point to use this. This is really nice. This I would use because of the shape of it, because it is kind of wide. It's not tapered. This I would use for, okay, if my transition shade is here and my brow shade was up here, I would use this in between just to blend up the transition shade without adding too much more color on there. So I wouldn't even put color on here. I would just use it just to further blend up this shadow that's in my transition area. That's what I would use it for, because for me, for the shape of it, it fits like right here where it's between my transition shade and my brow bone. So I would use this for that. So I think that's why I don't use it much, because for just blending it's just a little too big. But then I could also use it for outer corner work, just feather it in and then pull it out. And so I want to say I'll make it a point to use it more, but I don't want to commit to that because I actually forgot I even had this. I know, shame on me. I forgot that I had it. This is a random brush. I believe it was a crown brush. Everything on here has wiped off. This came in a subscription box back when I was getting subscription boxes. And I like, this is a dense brush and it's pointy. This is perfect for me for putting liner under my lower lash line. We're using shadow for lower lash line. And also if I'm doing graphic liner, or if I just want to smudge out gel liner, if I do a wing and I just want to smudge it out, this is good for that because it is tapered, but it is very stiff though, so I don't use it often. I think I use it a few times for drawing a line under my brows. I love that it's tapered and it's dense, but it's just a little wide for like doing upper lash line, unless I wanted to do a thick line on my upper lash line, because it would work for that, but I usually just only use it for my lower lash line and winging it out. That's what I use this brush for. So it is a nice brush, and I do actually use this one. So that is that. I have 3 makeup. Do I only have 3 makeup geek brushes? You know what? I do only have 3 makeup geek brushes left. These are the same. These are the defined crease brush from when she was going out of business, and it was everything was like half off or something like that. And so I purchased 3 of each of the crease brushes. But I found that I like these more and I wasn't using the other 2. And so I did a brush giveaway, or I added them to a giveaway. And since there were 3, it was a couple winners and each got this brush, that brush, whatever. But these are the only ones that I kept. And I like these for blending out shadow or placing shadow on my lower lash line. These are very soft. They feel very nice. But what I use it for mostly is just putting shadow on my lower lash line. And it does blend it out quite nicely. I can also use it if I want to blend out or just feather out the light shade of my lid shades. This is great for that because it's very precise. And even though it says define crease brush, this is my crease. I don't use it for in there. I use it for above my transition area. And this is also good for placing color under my brow bone. So that's the excuse me. What are you trying to say, troll? This is a nice brush for those purposes, and those are the purposes I use it for. Putting shadow under my brow, buffing out my upper lash line colors, like on that line. My upper lash line colors? The upper line of my lid shades. I'm all sorts of backwards. Did I say this is like my 5th one today? And also, but mostly, putting color on my lower lash line and feathering that out. So that's what I really love these for. And so that's why I kept the 3 of them. Random brushes. I think I purchased them from Ipsy or something back when I was getting subscription boxes. These are LaRouche brushes. These are different. These were different. Okay, wait a minute. Wait. I don't remember where was what, because I had purchased a travel set of the LaRouche brushes and I really liked them, some of them. And then LaRouche had a sell half off or something for like 1 day only or whatever, and I purchased some brushes and I was just like, I don't really care for these. But the ones that I kept, I do like. This is the LR007 tapered blending brush, and I use this for buffing out shadow on lower lash line. I would use it for outer V work, outer corner work, pull that out. I would use it to blend out the top line of my lid shades. And if my brow bone color is too bright for my liking, I'll just take this with no color on it and just feather it over just to tone that color down. So I do really like this brush. This one is LR005, and this one also says tapered blending, but it's more blunt than this one here. So this one, I don't think I even use this one that much. I'm thinking I could give it away, because if I don't use it, am I going to miss it if I don't have it? The answer is no. But it would be good for just blending out the top edge. It doesn't feel as soft as this one. This one feels really soft. This one doesn't feel as soft, and maybe because this one is tapered. Like, this feels really soft and this one doesn't. I'm gonna give this one away. Yeah, I said it. I'm gonna give this one away. But this would be good for, and I'm gonna wash it since I'm putting it on my skin. This would be good for blending, either placing your shadow in your transition area or in your crease area, which is where your socket is, or even just blending out the top line of your lid shades if you take your lid shades up here like I do. And you could also use it for buffing out shadow, lower lash line, and pulling it out. So there's a lot of reasons for this. So y'all are probably like, so are you not second guessing keeping it? No, I'm not, because I like the other one better, and you saw all the other brushes that I have that I actually use for these purposes. But this is a nice one though. This is a nice brush, but I'm gonna give it away. The other two. This brush I can't stand. I did find a use for it. They were half off, and it looks like a nice brush. Y'all know I like the angle of the shape of the angled brushes, and these are the LR008 angled shading brush. I thought I was going to love it. I'm like, oh, it's a shading brush, but y'all look how flimsy this is. This brush is so flimsy. I could not place shadow because it was so flimsy. The bristles just go everywhere, and because of my eye shape, this is my mobile lid. This is my lash line. This is the crease. So my mobile lid, this covers my entire mobile lid, like right here. So you think this would be perfect just to put a watercolor, boom, you're done. If you only put shadow on your mobile lid, boom, you're done. Simple, easy. But because it's so flimsy, like it wasn't laying down color the way I wanted it to. And if you've been here, you know I pack on shadow. So this just wasn't doing it for me. And so I'm like, you know what? I paid for it. It was hella cheap. Let me find a way that I like using it. What I find that I love it for placing shadow on my lower lash line. Like it is just perfect for that. And so if you have a brush and you use it for what they say. It says a shading brush. I hated it for that. I was debating on just throwing these in the garbage, like seriously. And I'm like, let me just keep playing around with it. And so just use brushes in different ways and find, is there a way that you can learn to love it for? And once I use this for my lower lash line, putting shadow under here, and for blending out shadow under here, and also for when I have, an outer corner laid, take this and just turn it sideways and just pull that shadow out for wing liner. I love this brush for that. So I love it for lower lash line, wing that if you want, or just going in and using your outer corner color and just pulling that out. I freaking love this brush. But as a shader, I hated it. I was going to throw it in the garbage. And I said, let me just keep trying new things. I love this freaking brush. Lower lash line, bring that out. Outer corner shade, bring that out. Wing it out. That's what I love this brush for. So I am glad that I kept those two. So that'll be it for this video, y'all. We got two more to do. Yeah, so we're going to keep rolling, and I'll be editing like crazy over the next few days and planning these out probably until like Christmas. But let me know what you think about the Hourglass brushes. They are expensive. Wait for a sale. They are sold at Ulta. They are sold at Sephora. Also, the Hourglass website. If Sephora has a 20% off coupon that includes Prestige, and you're wanting to try these, I say go for it. If you're Rouge at Sephora, let me slow down. That would be the perfect time to get those. Hourglass, I don't think usually has any more than 20% off. And so I would say just check for Ulta coupons or the Sephora sale. Or if you're not Rouge at Sephora, sometimes those of us who are Rouge, they send us an invite where we can send a 20% off code to someone else. And so if you know someone who is Rouge, be like, hey, if you get an invite, can you send me one if you want to try out these brushes? And, let me know. Excuse me. I know people love the Blend Bunny brushes. They were gluing them together and using them forever. Gluing them together and using them forever. Oh, man, I'm starting to rhyme. I need to go. The Makeup Geek brushes. And the LaRouche brushes. Because the ones I had before, they were pretty good. But these ones... But find a way, experiment with different uses for a brush, like I did with this one, and you may find a way that you're like, I really love this brush. This was about to be trash, but this is freaking awesome. And so let me know if you've had that experience where you had a brush and you were like, this is trash, and then you kept playing around with it in different ways, and you were like, this brush is freaking awesome. Like, we did a 360 on that one. Well, actually a 180, because 360, we would be back where we started. We did a 180. We went from hating it to love it. But that'll be it for this video. Brush collection 2024. I will put that playlist up here if you want to see the other brushes that I talked about for this year. And down here, I'll just put something that I think may be interesting for you to watch. And so if you have more time, just hang out, click through, watch some of my videos, share, subscribe, like, comment, join if you're interested in my membership. And you all will see me very soon. So thank you for being here. And as always, self-acceptance, self-love, that is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Yes, you will see me again.